Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Yesterday had some volatility in the market, and we came up with a bearish engulfing day in the S&P 500, which often has a stigma to being a bearish pattern. But I wanted to show you some actual results on what happens the day after a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. So let's take a look. This is the results of going long at the open of regular trading hours the morning after a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern on the daily chart. This is exiting at the end of regular trading hours. So this is just an all-day intraday trade. And you can see from the stats here, 57% of the time it closes above the open. And if you took them all historically, it looks like you would have made a decent little amount of money here across 156 samples. So there's quite a few samples in here to look at going back to 2003. And equity curve is pointing higher. Not perfect, but the general bias appears to be to the long side after the bearish engulfing pattern. Let's take a look at a couple variations of it in different market types. So I'm just going to come over here and add let's just add the 200-day moving average to it and see how that changes it. So if we closed above the 200-day moving average the day before when it made that bearish engulfing pattern, stats stay pretty similar. In fact, they may get a little bit stronger. Win rate still close to 59%. Equity curve still pointing from lower left to upper right. Let's add another indicator to it. Just use the 10-day. So above the 10-day and above the 200-day. And still have 43 samples. That did cut out quite a few samples, but the bias is still pointing higher. And this morning we are above both the 10 and the 200 for this pattern that is in play. Lastly, I just want to throw a stop on here just to see how that impacts it. So I'm adding 50% of the 5-day ATR as a stop. And there you go. Looks like it gets a little bit choppier, but the general bias is to the upside. With the 50% stop, the win rate does drop to 49%. It was mid-50s without a stop. But anyways, I hope you found this helpful, and perhaps this bearish engulfing pattern isn't quite so bearish after all.